Terrible.
This piece of evidence. Whoa, what?
Oh, you got it wrong? Have we been hung by our own
Oh,
petard?
wow. That was humiliating.
Wow.
You know
Nobody
what?
clicked
No, I
that.
blame the game still. It's doing something obscure right now.
Yeah, like it's probably like we're like too far ahead in its logic where it wants us to be. Miles, I believe that piece may actually be proof of a different last of sorts. It proves that today it will be your last day as a prosecutor!
It appears that I made a mistake. I would know the last riddle's answer lies somewhere in this room. I need to calm down and think it through once more. Maybe I don't deduce. Maybe I just click it?
So someone left this video on play the whole time, huh?
I suppose so. Other than the killing, there's hardly a sound in the rest of the tape.
Then why did the television make that loud noise when Scoffy got near it?
That's probably because the tape had run out and stopped playback.
It's not just bad luck that detective has the worst timing in the world too.
Someone purposefully left this video on play. The question is why? Yeah, Dark Data, I was gonna try that next, the window. Just as with the spilled perfume in lobby number 1, if the windows were open, that piece of evidence's sound would also dissipate out. Now to show what the gunshot detective's bad and gumshoe heard was. Edgeworth, like, talking about this feels weirdly like an alien from another dimension that doesn't have, like, sound to smell and stuff, trying to understand the concepts of it.
No, for sure, 100%.
Like, it's just weird even saying it out loud because a small child would intuitively know.
Obvious.
That's just
like
how
you could intuit that's how noise works. Like you heard something through the window. Like it's not rocket surgery.
And through where they heard it from. Wait, what is here? Oh, okay, I need to do the tape here at the window. I don't, like, I understand why they're saying it, but this shouldn't work any differently than the VCR player, because all this is done. If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser.
That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were.
However, what happened in reality was, Detective Gumshoe, Detective Pat, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot.
Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it.
But then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
That's the dumbest thing you've ever said, Francisca. Go home. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. Have a good night, Dark Data.
But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction.
Sorry, I can't do that. I'm gay. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. Which was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of?
When the murder took place.
Yeah, that's a little logical one, I guess. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to the precise wishes. And they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so.
So that's why the tape was left running.
The gunshot I heard was from this video. Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. Must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who had no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is a real killer. Ugh. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, what is it?
Miss Yu was asking for you. She's in the courtroom. It says she's identified the murderer, but she wants to clarify something.
It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something.
Understood. Please tell her that I'll be right over. Come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Well, final part of this case.
Woo!
Ending part 2. October 10th, 6:15 p.m. Number 3. Okay, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
The object you're looking for is already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what we're looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer. Maybe a little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
Just so you know, a little ear breathing's coming out of the mic, only a little.
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment at which we can finally lay this case to rest.
Wasn't that when we played Detective Gunshot under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? Well, it all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why, even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
We have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, isn't right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements from every single person's movements. During the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I've also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, our killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe.
That's all you have?
Well, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for rebuttal. We are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is.
Everyone, Sans the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, alright? I also confirmed that there's no possible escape from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion. The detective gun shoots the killer! I don't know why they did that as a character choice to make most of her idle animations her like holding a laugh. Like that's a very weird choice.
She's always laughing, which is probably not very good as a defense attorney. But
that's what I was gonna say. It's like getting really jokery about it, and that might be the point. But like, I don't know. Like it's like really hard to read those lines.
As a defense attorney, she's probably just like, the defendant pleads not guilty. They're just like, what? That's very...
totally didn't do it. It's like, it kind of sounds like he did. Okay. Now that I have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve.
Hold it.
The suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you, this is no joke.
Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier, but the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll.
Yes, that is correct.
But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate that what he did since the snacking.
She's done her research well. Why don't we say right off the bat that about the video, like,
right?
Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's holding.
Hold it.
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide.
Such scrunched eyebrows and on lines on your forehead right back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect.
It is also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden. Edgeworth, what the heck are you doing?
I know, you literally are the one that ruled that out by saying that solids can't go through solid objects. That's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know?
They didn't look in a VCR for a videotape.
They didn't. They really didn't. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad?
Yeah. Or was it a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows? There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. Suppose he really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
Hold it!
Be absolutely positive there are no possible routes of escape.
Of course I'm sure.
And why are you so certain?
This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. And if there's an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Mouse Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future.
You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand?
You're the only one still wondering about that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. If you know someone, it doesn't mean that you'll know which hand they write with, right? And I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing.
I'm about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about our argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject.
Ah, but they were witnesses. For you, your mentor gave you an alibi.
I see.
As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. And that was stopped by a security guard at the door of the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma. And I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, or a bailiff, or anyone else.
Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty?
What about them?
Have you looked into what people are doing during that span of time?
What kind of idiot do you take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard the gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe's the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception when the crime took place!
Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard from the lobby in lobby number 1, care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
Take that!
That tape!
Yes, exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rev, the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to a large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
Can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot from the video.
But I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. Now, After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's after the bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that the method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, that voice is not anything like what I'm giving her.
Does that matter?
Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma. I already knew that much from the very beginning. Right. Of course we know! This is 3 miles!
Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago, and that I just figured out how sound could go through open spaces.
That's right. And if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it. End of story.
But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? Really?
There was a hole in the wall that most buildings have to let air through.
Yeah, technically that would have been right too, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just how an alien would say it, though.
there is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. It is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window is open in each. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also open. We didn't hear
Probably
that,
just
that's fine.
oh,
It's fine. We missed some of them anyways.
This is like such a big waste of my dopamine to like laugh on command. Like it's literally a first world problem, but like I really am drained after these sessions whenever I voice her because like my body's like, oh, happy? Happy? And I'm like, no, not happy. Content at best. It's like, aw, happy? It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the same time.
It's no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window opened in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is...
Can it be who I really... Oh, I mean, I guess... Maybe I'm just like thinking way too much into it.
Why? What do you think?
Because I think it was... Like, I just want to say it's you, but like, it's probably that weirdo guy,
Me?
right?
I don't think there's a way to select Edgeworth.
No, that weirdo guy.
Oh, you said you.
No, yeah. Go to the left. Is this supposed to be the other guy? This guy to the left.
guy?
That is it Manny Coachman? Is it
Do you
him?
think so?
I think it's you, but like I feel like the game
Me?
doesn't want me to think it's you yet.
How Edgeworth doesn't have a selectable icon?
No, you.
Like me, the person?
Yeah.
I don't have a selectable icon either.
Not you. You.
Who are we selecting?
Callisto, you?
Callisto, you think?
I don't think it was her. I think the game wants us to say it's Manny Coachman.
Manny Cochin?
But like, I don't know why she's like, she would be like protecting him.
Lock it in, final answer. Or I'm gonna just click bad.
Manny Coachman.
Take that!
This person is the real culprit behind this case.
What sort of nonsense? Be serious here, Miles Edgeworth.
Ugh, that must not be the correct person. Let's carefully think this through once more. Why is the window open in lobby number 1? The answer to that is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open. That person triggered that action. That person real guilty party. It's saying it's the person who made the window be open, which was the person who sprayed all that perfume, which is...
Take that!
You.
Mr. Callisto, you. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel.
Ah! You indict me?
You just got lipstick all over your cheek.
Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer?
I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now?
Of course I do, Edgeworth.
My argument must not be tight enough yet.
Although, I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance. Quite a bit.
I have a boyfriend.
Not yet, you don't.
I mean, everybody says that does.
Fair. And I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? You argue that the window was open. However, do you have proof?
You okay?
Oh man, this is like really hard to read for some reason. You argue that the window was open, however, do you have proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like that. Whew. Especially with the logic as full as holes as yours.
You okay?
Yeah, that Callisto is just throwing me off. I don't know.
This is where it really starts.
It's like getting really warm in this room. Full disclosure.
Ah. Mustn't let my guard down for even a second or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Vetikarma perfect proof to the test.
Hold it!
Evidence. All I'd need to do is have some prints analyzed and we know straight away.
Be my guest.
Sounds as though she has the room to maneuver, which means even if we were able to lift prints, she'd only show that it was someone else, but why would someone else be forced to open the window? Oof, that's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that piece of evidence? I have nothing to lose.
What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrows, line on your forehead, they're all back. More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, okay?
Hold it!
I thought it just proved that it was.
Sure you proved that the tape was there at the time? Oh, sure. I can't even. Anyways, however, that doesn't prove it was actually used as a crime.
Fortunately for you, Miss Yu, the fact that tape was there at the crime scene in itself is very important.
How so?
For the very existence of that tape at the crime scene, it proves the possibility that the when of the crime could have been fabricated. And that possibility alone renders all alibis witness reports irrelevant. Basically means that you need to re-examine every person's movements again. Whether the tape was used in this crime or not, that we can re-evaluate afterwards.
In conclusion, you're admitting that you can't prove that it was at this point.
Even if you're shocked, that is of no concern to me. I do things my own way.
Hello? I see you're not laughing for a change. Because I'm shocked.
Again, you being shocked is of no concern to me. Let us continue with the testimony.
Alright, but let me say just one thing. You shouldn't go around accusing people.
Full of holes. Well, I suppose it might be.
Oh, admitting to your faults now, are we?
At this point in time is what I meant to say.
Should I take that to mean that you're just a sore loser?
No matter how full of holes my logic may be right now, if I plug them one at a time, I will ultimately make my way to the truth.
What a paradox. Take care not to fall in one of those holes before you fill it up. Miles, you remember, don't you? About why a window in lobby number 1 was opened?
Yes, of course I do. In the tunnel attack, I'll present the reason why the window had to be opened. So now
do we know for a fact that the perfume is her perfume?
it's used perfume, misused perfume. The perfume
Same
for Miss
one
You.
I
The
spilled from
perfume
lobby number 1.
specifically for Miss You. Misused perfume.
So presenting it is here the best place to present it?
Sure. Yeah.
Then do it.
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss You?
Edgeworth, I never thought you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know? Wow.
But this isn't mine.
My boyfriend's. That's right, it's mine. And I received it from Detective Bad, you see?
Miss You, you can pretend all you like. We know at least this much for sure. This bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you.
Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume?
While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad.
Oh, I know.
You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Oh no, I ever tell you that's just all a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you can control. The most important fact about this case is when people are made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time.
You mean?
Yes, Miss You. You were the one who called Dr. Bad in lobby number 2. Number 1. When you saw him bring Jack Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct?
Yep.
All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought of by you, Miss You. You said something we didn't hear.
Grrr.
Grrr.
You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume? Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday.
Would you care to testify as to why?
Look, I've had a lot of fun today. Really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap this absurd case once and for all. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma.
Ad hominem. It's a fallacy.
Ad hominem. Look
Yeah.
at you. I wasn't expecting you to just casually ad hominem.
She's the one who ad hominem.
Do 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 do. Ad hominem. Do 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 do. Ad hominem. Do do. Sorry. In any case, I simply could not. It simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. Those are words. After all, I didn't even know where the knife was used to kill him came from. I didn't. Miles' testimony is flawless. She says she doesn't know. It's foolproof.
Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking that information, I'll just draw it out of her. Most of that rebuttal or whatever testimony was her just trying to discredit Miles. So. I think I had to explain the significance of that earlier.
You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume. But that was all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character.
Do as you like, but as for me, I believe.
You believe?
I believe that you are the true culprit in this case.
My, you're enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed.
Formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor.
Yes, or I'll shoot you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spring gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire.
How dare you?
Say such a thing!
Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
Why did you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue?
why exactly could you not have killed him?
I was just about to testify to that. He's such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edward.
I have a boyfriend. Like, your promises have no bearing on what is at hand.
Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Ugh.
Monsieur, you will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy.
Ahem. Sorry. You think I'm cool? It's you. Please continue the testimony.
Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it.
At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Monsieur. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Miles, that's it. What do you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of her, that's what I'm doing.
Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it? Why don't you cut it out with? Oh, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key that Yadagrasu had sent. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. You gotta pause for effect. Did you really think that could trap me? Come on, be honest.
I never intended to do such a thing. It was all misunderstanding of my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony.
Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you like.
What even say as many times as you like? Yeah, that's a new line.
There was a key in the evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key.
That?
Hold it.
Miss Yu, I would just like to confirm something with you one more time.
About what's gonna happen to Detective Gumshoe after this?
I would need to ask you about that, because he isn't the killer.
It looks like the number of wrinkles on your forehead has increased yet again.
That issue aside, Miss Yu, I'd like to ask you about what was inside the bag. You're sure it was the Yadagrashi's key, correct?
Yes, I'm sure. Which is why I'm completely baffled as to where that knife could have come from.
I think I've just spotted the road to a perfect victory. Finally, it would appear that you have revealed your true identity, Miss Yu.
Miles, have final statement!
Yes, I know. All I have to do now is to present the evidence. What is this ominous feeling that I can't shake?